Kotaku posited earlier that what is a plural of Xbox One X? So what would you say? Would be Xbox One X's.
It would be
One
X's.
XE.
I'm taking an English class. It would be X's. Xbox One X.
So now Microsoft, their preferred term is Xbox One X consoles. That is a plural form that they prefer. Not that they're right or incorrect. That's just
it's still correct
as an
but
official company. And welcome to Salient Points, episode 2. You're listening to Carlos Macias. You can find me on Twitter at aduseclean.com. And I got with me here
Dalen Kirkwood. You can find me at _Zaysha_
At double underscore. I like it. I like it. So we'll start off the show today. Oh, actually, I said this week last time, but this time, Thursday's show.
Good job.
We'll start off with Take-Two Interactive's latest financials, which I like that Take-Two and Ubisoft seem to be battling over what term to use. As far as loot boxes and loot crates and all that stuff.
It's all microtransactions. It's all microtransactions.
It's all part of the same thing, but Take-Two calls it recurring consumer spending. Ubisoft likes to call it recurring player investment. But we'll get into Take-Two first. Actually, do you have some thoughts on the different terms that they use?
I think it's stupid that they even try and justify it with these long terms. I think they're trying to finagle people. They're trying to confuse people into saying, that sounds awesome. But
businesses are all about fidangling. All right, so I don't know they're all about fidangling. Anyways, Take-Two says we've said that we aim to have recurrent consumer spending opportunities for every title that we put out at this company. It may not always be an online model. It probably won't always be a virtual currency model, but there will be some ability to engage in an ongoing basis with our titles after release across the board. And that was Take-Two Interactive's chairman CEO Selnick. Is what he said during their financial call or whatever you call it. So they plan on throwing this kind of things at you for the long term.
For a long haul, and it's just it's a good way to make money. Don't get me wrong, because consumers buy into this, they put it out, and they buy it.
And we did touch on this before, right? Yeah, we're paying for it, so
we're paying for it, they'll keep doing it.
The collective we, the royal we,
the royal we. That is not the way I'd say that.
The royal we are engaging in this. All right, so
we
one
are the
thing
collective.
Is what we say.
We're purchasing it. They're just gonna keep dishing them out. We're gonna keep buying it, and we're gonna keep complaining.
It's funny. I did see on Twitter that people were having this conversation that it's because I was thinking about it too. I was like, well, it could be like when games used to put online passes, they started that. It was like this whole initiative by EA where it's like you have to buy this game new and it comes with a $10 online pass.
Yeah,
if you buy it used, and if you buy it used, it's quote unquote fine because you can go on the online store and buy a $10 online pass. But with that is I think people spoke with their dollar and they're like, I'm not putting up with this.
Yeah, I think Borderlands did that. I think that was.
It was like a stretch, man. It was like a stretch of 3 years, 2010 to 2013. I remember I was trying to play something the other day, recently in the last couple months, and I was like, online pass. What is this? They didn't even retroactively. They didn't even retroactively try to fix it that you need a pass for certain games if you're going back in time. But this is something we spoke with our wives, but this is something that people are buying into, man. And I think it's like a new generation. It's like the new generation where people are okay with buying things digitally, and it's like you don't need a physical copy of it. So this is just another way to say people are playing games differently. Like,
that's because they don't know better.
I don't see why you have a problem. I think the kids are like, I don't see why you have a problem with this. My iPhone games do this. Have been doing this. This is how I enjoy playing my games. So,
and what happens when your iPhone breaks? You lose all your games.
Another thing. Take-Two on it. They did bring NBA 2K18 to Switch. I guess they're doing all right. It says we're very pleased with title's performance on this new platform. So they're doing all right. I know FIFA for EA is apparently not doing very well. So, and I think that part of that is that they, they're in that. Fantasy League or whatever it's called, the ultimate team. Yeah, they have an ultimate team where they have their own set of loot boxes and all this stuff. And they all have it. Yeah, they have these cards where you're building up a team. And I don't get too deep into it. I know my brother does. He really gets deep. I don't know if he gets too deep into it, but he gets into you open up packs of cards and you're getting different players and you're building up your team.
You handing out chips, Carlos? You out there handing out chips, ain't you?
What I don't.
What you don't know what that means? Gambling. You don't know what chips are.
Whatever that means. Anyways, so they did touch on Red Dead 2 versus GTA Online, because GTA Online is a very big deal,
massive.
And they were asked on the call if when Red Dead 2 comes out, which is gonna be out in the first half, in January, February, whenever it's gonna be out. I don't know if they announced the exact date for it. They delayed it though. They really did delay. I was expecting it. But whenever it comes out, they asked him, well, is Red Dead 2 Online going to compete with GTA Online? And they said, we compete with all of our titles and everyone else's titles too. So I don't think that the launch of any new title specifically has a direct effect on an existing title any more than someone else launching a competitive title would affect, for example, one of our titles in doing.
What you just said was very wordy.
It's very wordy, but it's not me. It's all Stressnick or Strauss-Selnick that's saying this. And they ended up saying, so we think Red Dead stands alone. Naturally, we're incredibly excited. I think the whole market is, but it will stand alone and succeed on its own merit. Which is to say that you're in the entertainment market and you're competing against everything.
You're always competing against everything. In some cases, you're even competing against yourselves because you want to actually build the sales for the game that you just dropped. And you want to be able to still keep that fan base. But I think what it comes down to, in the long run, between Red Dead Redemption 2 and GTA 5 Online, is the fan base. Like, what do fans want to play more? Do they want to keep doing whatever they want
what they're
in
saying.
The world of GTA, or do they want to go to the Wild West and ride some horses?
It's a long non-answer basically, and it's probably for the most part. What I read from this is he's saying like, I don't know, we'll see, we'll find out.
We'll find out.
Well, we'll let like you were saying.
That's
it's
a very Trump answer.
We'll let the fans decide, and when it comes out, we'll deal with it, right? But
we'll see.
But online is a big deal. I know. Red Dead Redemption. Did you ever play it online? It was
I did. I played the heck out of that online. There was a point where me and one of my friends, Wiki, we were out there in the middle of the Alamo or something like that, and we were just shooting sheriffs. We were trying to get as many people after us as we could.
What do you see that they could do? What could they? Well, you've played GTA 5 online, and
I played both of them.
Based on what you play from Red Dead, what do you think they could bring over that could influence Red Dead Redemption 2's multiplayer?
What they'll probably end up bringing over is the random additional packets that you could actually have for GTA 5. I mean, if you do Red Dead Redemption,
you're talking about loot crates?
No, I'm not talking about loot crates. I'm talking about the extra things that you could actually get. Maybe you could actually own your own house or salon. Maybe you could you could buy your own stagecoaches and soup up your stagecoaches, make them look however you want.
They'll find a way to get those.
Yeah.
What did they say? They'll find a way to get those recurring consumer spending in there, so you guys can all enjoy it.
Recurring consumer spending.
Another company there's a lot of financial statements coming out lately, but Ubisoft, they said, and they call it that they made more, so that, let me take a quick step back.
The first quarter.
So Ubisoft made more in recurring player investment versus actual game sales, which, recurring player investment, the word that they're using includes DLC, microtransactions, etc. It actually grew, year on year, 83% more versus 57% more with game sales. So it actually, the DLC, the loot crates, the whatever you want to call it, they sold more than the actual games themselves.
Well, I think that's only just the recent time, because they had that block where they didn't have an Assassin's Creed. So people weren't focused on actually doing Assassin's Creed for that
speaking of Assassin's Creed, Assassin's Creed's Origins apparently is doing pretty good. It's doing good
because people can move past the microtransactions, and now they got their new Assassin's Creed game.
But it's been off for a year. The Syndicate. So Assassin's Creed Origins actually sold twice in the same amount of period that. In the 10 days. They're using the first 10 days of sale compared to Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and actually sold twice as much as Syndicate. So it's probably a good thing that they took the year off. They let people forget about Assassin's Creed. They came back to it. But which is funny because, people, they took the year off. It's not like they took a year off. They took more time to develop it. They were still building it in that quote-unquote year off. It just means we didn't get an Assassin's Creed last year.
But with them taking that extra time to be able to put into the video game, I think they were actually really able to add some new things to the Assassin's Creed, because all the other ones were very cookie cutter once you got to a certain point.
Even so, Not interested. I was like, I don't think there's just so many Assassin's Creed. It looks good.
But that was the problem. It was so cookie cutter. They all look the same. You're like, I played one. I played them all.
It looks good. It's in a cool setting. It's in Egypt, ancient Egypt, and all that stuff.
And
but
they have new weapons and new mechanics for riding around.
What's the last Assassin's Creed you played? What's the last Assassin's Creed?
I played Syndicate.
You played every single one?
I have played all of them, except those weird
beat?
2D ones like Assassin's Creed China and stuff.
Now, really played and beat, or just played and, just kind of
the last one that I played and beat, though, was Brotherhood. Assassin's Creed 2 Brotherhood.
That's a while back, yeah.
Yeah, it was a while back because
I've dabbled. I've dabbled in some. Even Syndicate, I think I dabbled in the first, level of it, and I was like...
So many glitches.
I'm good. I don't even know if it was glitches or not. I was just like, I'm alright. I've seen enough.
I like the little metal. I like the little. So
Ubisoft's had a successful year. It sells up 66% in the first half of 2017, which included Mario and Rabbids, Kingdom Battle, Rainbow Six Siege, Ghost Recon Wildlands, and For Honor. I don't think they broke down what was what, but For Honor and Ghost Recon have had a lot of free weekends lately. So
when Division first dropped, they did pretty good sales at first, but that was also a microtransaction game.
That's our future, man. We've lost. We've officially lost. But actually,
given in.
It's interesting because you have now DICE, which is the developers of Battlefront 2. They actually responded to the backlash of the loot boxes. I don't know if did you participate in the Battlefront 2 beta or no?
No, but I know people that did.
So based on that, people were having issues, saying that these loot crates they're not cosmetic. So we're very picky. We're very fickle consumers, right?
Well, but it makes sense because you just have people as soon as the game drops, they just get the loot crate.
Well, it makes sense. Well, what I'm saying, it's okay for I think for in general, and I think for me too, it's fine that if it's cosmetic, then it's fine, right? It doesn't really do nothing. It makes your character cooler, and I don't know which some
unique. That's
which some people actually say that affects gameplay. It's like, well, that guy looks cool, so
no, it's very distracting. That's it.
But I'm just saying, there's an argument there. It's for some. To me, it doesn't make sense because you should see my Destiny 2 character. It's like all off color. It's all over the place, and
your pink Titan. That was awesome.
And that's a problem because you don't get a full costume shader anymore. You get per piece, and they're disposable. They're
honestly,
consumables.
I enjoy that more.
That's consumables?
I enjoy the shaders for Destiny 2 more than the shaders, or at least the way they did the color set.
I mean, you can say that this as far as your preference that they looks better, but they're consumables. You can't switch back and forth. You ate it up. You gotta eat another one up and hope you have the one if you want to go back. Anyways, as far as DICE is concerned, so these were actually the loot crates were actually performance. I call them performance. I don't think they use that term, but it's
you get your point across when you say performance.
It's basically saying that if you get a loot crate and you get better gear, you get better weapons, whatever it is. So it's kind of like pay to win, right? But yeah, DICE multiplayer producer Paul Keslin, I believe. I was trying to see where they got it from. I don't know. Maybe it was directly to US Gamer. That's where I read it. I don't know if they said it to US Gamer or someone else, but he said it was a good, healthy conversation for us to understand how players see the crates, at least the iteration we have in beta. It was an incomplete system since it was just a slice of the game, but it was a good opportunity for us to say, okay, there are opportunities to improve this. So again, it didn't catch us so much off guard. It was a good way to start off the conversation internally. So they're paying attention, but notice how in any of this they don't say, we're not gonna do it. We're gonna take a. They're basically saying we're gonna reshuffle it, so you're not as upset about.
Well, what they need to do is just find something else that they could build into the loot crates that people will buy.
They already done. That's the thing. That we go back to the same thing. People are paying for anything that they put out. And as the Ubisoft financials demonstrated, it's like they're making more money off of that than the actual game sells. So
Dead or Alive last round is still making money.
I don't know what does that have to do? It's random. Yes, I get it, but what is
that?
I
is a huge microtransaction.
But it's cosmetics for the most part.
No, it is not. Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, then you relax. All right, and stop bringing up random games. All right, let's keep it relevant. Let's keep it relevant. All right. Next thing. So I did this week. Nintendo had the direct. You saw a little bit of Xenoblade and Chronicles 2, right? You looked up some of the videos.
Yes.
Because to me, I was like, you know what, Dalen, you're the resident RPG guy. So just a couple points, and then you can tell me what you think of it. Number one, they plan on having dual audio, Japanese and English at launch. which is pretty cool. It's not. I guess it's not gonna be on the disc, right? You'll be able to download it here, click here.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that too because most people want it in English anyway, or at least here in America. I guess.
Yeah, it's a preference thing. I kind of like Japanese because I'm reading anyways. I have the subtitles on, whether it's in English or in Spanish. Hey. So they're gonna have dual audio at launch. They're gonna have a $30 expansion, a season pass, which I guess which game doesn't at this point. One of the things coming up pretty much in December. The game launches in December, so you're gonna have some.
I saw it December 1st.
In quotes, support items. I don't know what that is. Then some other smaller things. In January 2018, new quest for the main game. In fall 2018, new story and adventure. So, I mean, $30. I hate doing this. I mean, I've never done the expansion passes because I'm like, this kind of stuff happens where you don't even know what you're getting. Support items. What is support items? And, you're paying $30 up front. So, to me, it's like, yeah, you get a discount up front, but it's like, well, I don't know what I'm getting, so just sell me on it down the road.
Okay, well, for support items, I'm not even going to delve into that. But for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, it definitely looks extremely beautiful. Same comparison, comparing it to Xenoblade Chronicle X, it was just this massive game, huge open world environments. Very much reminded me of like a gigantic mecha game like Xenogears, but more beautiful and on the Nintendo in a bigger environment, which was definitely awesome.
It's part of the same series? Xenogears and Xenoblade?
No, they are not a part of the same series. But when you look at Xenoblade, comparing it to Xenogears and the way their gears are, you could see that there's a very close comparison of how they build these mechas.
Okay. Is it the same company?
Heck no. Squaresoft are the ones that made Xenogears. This is not Squaresoft.
Who is this? Because I'm looking at the game right now. I picked up the cartridge.
Well, I'm going to let you figure that one out.
Yeah, well, never mind.
But, never mind.
I was wondering if the lineage of if it falls into the same line. Now, when you say beautiful, because we're talking about the Switch. It's a fine system, but it's not pushing PS4 Pro, Xbox One X.
They might not be pushing.
That's why do you say aesthetically, or do you mean like graphically?
Graphically, I'm saying
that. It's pushing it.
It is pushing the boundaries of what these Nintendo games could actually show in terms of environment, of putting as much detail as they can into these games.
Switch, and if you're playing Switch in handheld mode, that thing's gonna be hot. Yeah. It's gonna be warm.
No, you played this game in handheld mode? Well, probably.
So are you looking forward to it based on kind of the videos or trailers you saw? The game?
I'm looking forward to the game dropping. I'd love to have the game and have the time to play the game, but the games are just so massive.
That's the thing, right? It's on a Switch, so you take it with you. It's portable makes it so much easy, yeah.
And you get to delve yourself into that universe, 100+ hours of gameplay. But unlike Xenoblade Chronicles X, which was more geared towards the gears that you take with you, in this case, it's a battle system that reminds me very much of Tales of Zestiria, if anybody ever played that. Okay. You got your one character that's tethered to another character, and that other character is your support. And that actually just builds the way that you fight in the middle of battle. The more you fight with your your attachment, that's what I'm going to call them right now, the more you get to use your arts. And you have two other teammates. Those two are tethered, and they're doing little AI things and helping you fight through the battle. It's very active gameplay. It's not turn-based.
And we can bring it back to, are you grabbing a Switch for this game?
You look at this game, and you're like, man, this might just make me grab a Switch.
I think it's fair. I mean, you deserve it. You deserve it.
That's your words for it. You deserve
it. Keeping in line with Nintendo news, I think it's... So they're doing all right. What do they have coming after Xenoblade Chronicles? They really haven't said too much of 2018.
That's my problem with
but it's not it's not a problem.
It's not gonna be a problem.
No, you have Zelda, you have Mario, you have Xenoblade, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and they just dropped Monopoly on Switch, which I've been playing.
To those ports.
But anyway, sticking it to Nintendo, it's interesting. They also brought up how they still want mobile to be a quote unquote core pillar of their business, which is like they're really speaking to Super Mario Run that came out as an app for the. Have you played it actually?
Yeah, I played it.
Pretty good. It's pretty decent. They of course Super Mario Run is not yet reached an acceptable profit level. They said after selling like 200 million copies of it.
I'm not worried about Nintendo and their mobile abilities because they have basically cornered the market on mobility when it comes to AAA or those.
Well, and they have what is the Animal Planet? And no, what is it
Animal
called?
Crossing?
Animal Crossing that's coming out for, which is all free to play stuff. See, that's the thing, right? Like Super Mario Run was released and it was a $10 game. It's like, we don't want to charge you anymore. Just pay $10 up front. Nobody did it.
Game.
Yeah, I bought it. I was like, perfect. I don't have to worry about microtransactions or anything else. But it didn't make as much money as, say, Fire Emblem, whatever they did on the iOS, whatever that was called. I think Fates? No. Whatever it was called, the iOS version of that, it didn't make as much because in that one it's free to play, but people are throwing cash at it freely and grabbing those.
They're doing microtransactions.
Yeah. So I mean, at the very least, it's they're gonna figure that part out. They haven't given up on the mobile part of that business, and then we still got stuff coming to Switch. I guess we got Rocket League coming pretty soon, and all the ports are coming out, man. All the let's make some money. Yeah. I don't know. They might be a little too late though. I think they have to be kind of at the beginning.
No, honestly, they're not too late for these because with them
they're too late in respect in the aspect that when you have a new system and you launch close to launch or a couple months later, because I know there's a couple games. There's one example, Snake Pass, that because they launched close to launch, like they were more successful than they would have been, releasing on PS4, that kind of thing.
Because now they have all these larger games that are actually exclusive to the Nintendo.
But it's not too late in the sense that we're getting Uno. We got Monopoly. I've been playing that.
Skyrim.
Rocket League is coming up. Skyrim is gonna be out. So there's Doom. Doom did come out, man. It looks nice.
Well,
it
makes sense.
It looks nice.
I'm sure they're gonna have some sort of zombie game on there.
Then get yourself a Switch. All right, stop messing around.
You told me not to. Anyways,
I really did. No. I didn't say not to. I said, do you really need it?
No, you said. You know what? That's a conversation for another time.
For another time. I'm gonna skip we'll move on. So.
By the way, Fire Emblem Heroes.
There you go. That's okay. Thanks for looking it up. We're doing live research in here.
I still had it on my phone.
All right. The next piece of news is SAG-AFTRA, which is I guess the voice actors, the union that voice actors in video games. They were on strike for the last year. They just signed a new 3-year agreement, which after, I wasn't keeping track of it too much, but apparently it was a year-long strike, and they've come to a new agreement that's supposed to last for 3 years. One of the things that it includes is bonus payments based on, sessions of up to, every session can be up to $75, up to $2,100 over 10 sessions. We're trying to do the math before the sessions. Like, how does that make sense? But, they have a bonus structure. How about that? They have a bonus structure. And they also now they have to be
informed about what they're actually going to be
type doing of work, if they're going to be cussing, yelling, racial slurs,
whatever it might be, because there are voice actors out there that have standards for what they actually want to say.
But this is one of those it's one of these little interesting data points. It's one of the longest strikes in U.S. history. Because it started around October 21st, 2016, which was, against game publishers, which included EA and WB Games, which is 340 days. Like, all right, that's interesting.
It might be a long strike, but it's not the biggest strike.
It's one of the longest, one of the longest strikes. But it
was a very pivotal strike because before, you had the writer strike, and now you got voice acting strikes. And they just went better at equal pace, something fair to what they actually do, compared to the gaming companies actually putting out these games and charging very little.
And I think part of the issue, part of the issues is that they didn't, because you think about it, they just talk, they just they just do voice work, whatever. That's not real work.
No, sometimes it's taxing. I
bet it's taxing, and that's why it's like I do bet it's taxing. And the problem is they would go into work and not know today you're gonna be just yelling for hours, or you're gonna be doing things. And it's like when you think about it, it's like it does make sense, and they should. And like part of it is I think they don't get royalties or anything like that, because you see it maybe say Moana or one of the whatever Disney movies. If they do voices for those, I'm pretty sure there's a royalty plan in there.
Well, the royalty plans for those is more for what is that called? When they actually appear, when they make appearances.
Residuals?
Yeah, well, no, that's different. That's royalties. That's the same thing, Carlos. No, I'm talking about when they actually make appearances and they actually become the face of that character, like The Rock, how he's the face of Maui. For video game voice actors, they don't have those same types of appearances. Though they're known to the gaming community, the people that actually look and go to the panels, for them, they don't get as much publicity as actors in movies doing those voice acting. But even though they might not get the same publicity and they don't get those residuals, they work just as hard as those actors and actresses. They come in, do overnight shifts, they do extra hours, and they could actually pass out if they're not treated right. I know that happened on one occasion, but that's a different story. Fact being is that if they're not getting the right type of pay for the amount of work that they're doing, they're going to fight to try and get that right.
Yeah, and they had to go on a strike. Now, I mean, this might be a little crass, but did you miss them? Did you
notice they were gone?
You know what? It's it might be one of those things where everything's delayed. Everything is like it doesn't come out till a year later, and games are being developed.
They could reduce the quality of some of the acting.
Maybe we won't feel it. We'll feel it like this year coming up, or we'll feel it in some of the games that are coming out within the next few months or whatever. Or maybe it was one of those things where they already signed a contract, and you got the voice. This is a year later, and we don't even notice it, right?
Yeah. So unless it really impacts the actual release of the game, most people won't even actually follow it.
So now, that was some of the bigger topics we had. And then we'll run through like we did last episode. We'll get some of the quicker topics out of here. Well, I don't know. We might ramble on for a bit. We'll see.
Let's try
find
not
out.
to. I'll keep PUBG. You on point.
So PUBG. There's this ongoing battle with PUBG versus Fortnite's Battle Royale mode, which is the mode, and I like how there's like a civil war between the Fortnite community.
It's the same game. It's basically a clone, but
spicy. No, what I'm saying is within the Fortnite community, apparently they complain that why are you guys putting more attention in the Battle Royale mode? We're still here, because it's a separate mode. It's not Fortnite is not Battle Royale. It's a different mode that kind of takes what PUBG made popular. But yeah, it's funny that a few days ago Fortnite said that they have 20 million players hit that they're playing. I'm not sure because I think it's sort of free. It's free to play, so it's
once you actually get the game, then
20 million players active, and their battle royale mode, and then PUBG.
They were like, let's fire back. Let's throw
a day or two ago. They said it reached 20 million copies sold. So there's kind of a back and forth between the two. I don't know. We haven't talked about this. Do you think it's fair that Fortnite took PUBG's idea and kind of made a F2P free-to-play version of it?
Obviously, Fortnite taking that idea and just coming out with it first was just a terrible sniping move. I was like, man, that's...
Wait, Fortnite? No, Fortnite didn't come up with it first.
No, I said Fortnite doing that. They came out with it first, like the sales for it. Right? Didn't they sell?
Oh, you're saying the statement that they said that we hit 20 million people. Okay. I thought you were like, well, no, they. But that's the thing. Like, copy is like people. They do it all the time. People
I know they do it all the time. But you could feel this one. No,
you could feel the pain.
You could feel it. It was just so close together. You were like, PUBG's about to go hard, but then Fortnite just came out of nowhere and said, nope, we're doing it first. Like, wait, what?
Yeah. So I mean I think it's. I think it's fair game. I think one of the guy, the PUBG public relations or the owner or the whoever it is, he came out and said, "I don't like that Fortnite is copying our mode." Like, you just made them bigger. You just told people that they exist. If they didn't already know, you just told them that they exist. Go check that game out.
Good job.
It's free to play. But I think one of the concerns was that. PUBG, the PUBG developers, that game uses the Epic Games engine, which is the Unreal Engine, I believe, right? So they actually they license their engine. So what they're saying is like, you're making this mode and we're renting or we're licensing this engine from you guys, and obviously you have
they might be using the engine, but it's the mechanics that really makes the huge difference, because you can have many games that uses the Unreal Engine and the Epic engine and come out with a completely different game. We should probably
try out this Fortnite thing and report back and see what we think. But I mean, otherwise the Xbox One version of PUBG is coming out, which I'm gonna mess with. I'm gonna try it out. It's $30. It's $30. It's quote unquote physical but it's physical in the sense that you have a box, but inside is a code for you to download it onto your system. So it's not It's not a physical release. Quote,
are you gonna play the other? What was it? The Fortnite Battleground? So whatever that is.
I'll try both of them, but I'd rather play PUBG because it's PUBG. That's
the
one
PUBG.
I've been wanting to play.
That's
and I don't have a computer powerful enough to run it, so that's why I haven't been playing it.
You sure you don't want to fly on rockets to go kill people across the map?
I'll try. You referring to Fortnite with the rocket? We'll see. So the Xbox One version's out December 12th, I believe. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. That's when I'll re-up my Xbox Live, actually.
Because you don't want to pay for Xbox Live.
I don't ever pay for Xbox Live.
Collecting dust.
It collects quite a fair amount of dust. But that's it'll get playtime during PUBG when that's out. So the next thing, second wave of PSVR games are kind of starting. We're getting a sense of, we're getting some more a deeper cut of games, I guess.
The unfortunateness of PSVR games is that the PSVR is basically a massive demo slate. Every time they come up with a new game, you don't feel like beating it, you just want to try it.
Well, I've beaten pretty much every PSVR game that I've tried, even Resident Evil.
If they're short, it's not bad. Resident
Evil
7, that was its own thing because it was just an excellent game.
It was legit. It was legit, and you could play through it with PSVR. I think it's just the investment isn't there because people aren't responding to it.
No, people respond. People have to buy it, but they're putting it down.
No, but people have to buy the games. They have to buy the content for them to play. So, anyways, the second wave of PSVR games is going to start off with Blood and Truth, which is. Did you try the demo, the London demo that they had in the original
No, I kept
demo?
asking about that, but you wouldn't let me do it.
I have it here, Dalen. I have it here.
Next time.
We're probably in a rush or something. But anyways, Blood and Truth is basically like a fuller game of that. It's probably not going to be that long, to be honest, either, but it's basically that game but expanded, and then other than that they also dropped, I don't know if it's already on the store or it's gonna drop this week or whatever it is, there's a PSVR demo 2.0, which if you remember when
that's not out yet.
Last year when it came out, you got a slate of demos. This time around 2.0 is going to include Battlezone, Dino Frontier, Valkyrie, or Valkyrie, however, a fantastic.
Valkyrie. Man, learn
that's fine. Fantastic Contraption, Job Simulator, Moss, which Moss looks pretty cool. It's like an artistic kind of platformer game. Raw Data, Res Infinite, Starblood Arena, Star Child, The Persistence Thumper, and Tiny Tracks.
I'm down for Res Infinite. I want to try that one.
I also have that.
I know you got the basic.
We gotta have a PSVR like dedicated day.
And again, it's a demo system. You just try the games.
You say it's a demo system. We'll play it all for 1 hour. Hey, Super Hot VR. If you guys haven't tried that, it's very excellent.
Oh, that is a very excellent
incredible
game. That one is kind of gets you involved.
It's
like Area 51, but
shout out to Monster Vine. I did a review of Super Hot VR. If you guys want to check that out, feel free to go click on it. Some Monster Vine and the Super Hot VR. So the next thing is Apple is trying to get into AR. They said AR, so
augmented reality.
Augmented reality by 2020. They're gonna work on a custom Apple chip and operating system dubbed ROS, so Reality Operating System.
Goodness.
So at some point we'll see if are you excited about getting VR on your phone? Not
at all.
One of these little news things that came across my way: canceled Conker's 2, Conker's Bad Fur Day, the sequel, which I kind of knew about it, but make sure you guys check that out. It's on Unseen 64. They kind of talked to some of the developers and kind of what happened. For example, they talked. Oh, I didn't put who wrote this.
Anyway, well, let's not worry about that.
He said we actually started on a direct sequel, which was going to be called Conker's Other Bad Day, which dealt with Conker's somewhat unsuccessful tenure as king. He spends all the treasury money on beer, parties, and hookers. Thrown into prison, Conker is faced with the prospect of execution, and the game starts with his escape, ball and chain attached from the castle's highest tower.
And you got on me about my word dropping.
Hey, this is a quote. This is a quote. I should have read it beforehand, but yeah, I mean, what was Conker's Bad Fur Day?
That
was a really raunchy.
It was very raunchy.
It's a very raunchy game. I enjoyed it actually. Did you ever play?
I did play Conker's Bad Fur Day. Those enemies were just outrageous.
I do have it on Xbox. Actually.
No, we're good. Don't go let that collect its dust.
I'm gonna replay that at some point because it was good.
I'm gonna leave that layer of dust on Conker's Bad Fur Day. I'd rather play Sly Cooper.
I'm pretty sure the references and all that they don't stand up anyway because they had Matrix references. They had
some of those references still stand up, but they're still. I'm not going back for it.
All right, on a little bit of sad news, Telltale lays off 20% of their staff, which is about 20%, 25%.
Like 90
It's
people.
about 90 people, which, it's unfortunate.
It was an
Are
accident.
you? What's the last Telltale game you played?
I have Batman Telltale.
Did you beat it? Have you?
I got through all of Chapter 1. I started on Chapter 2. I saw parts of Chapter 3, but I didn't really finish the game. That was a long game, man. It was a long game.
You know what? It's been a while. I think maybe one of the Walking Dead was the last one I played through, but they need to fix that engine, man. They need to do something about that engine.
Well, the engine is there to tell a story. That's why it's Telltale Games. They want to focus more on the storytelling, and it brings in when.
I think they mentioned recently that they're like, we're gonna work on our engine. We're gonna do something.
Well, if they do work on their engine, that's fine. Get some new mechanics in there and make everybody happier. But the way that the games actually have rolled out the way that they are, when they do a game based on, let's say, a comic book, in this case, I'm going to use the example of Batman, they could keep true to the stories of what was actually there instead of veering off and putting some random stuff in it. I kind of feel like Gotham needs to go in a new direction. But that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, I mean, fix your engine.
Basically, bottom line, fix your engine.
Fix your engine, and maybe I'll check it out again.
It's like your engine was cool, now it's a little tired. You got to do something about it.
So we're nearing the end of our show, but just a couple more things. We did mention this, or we did talk about Call of Duty World War II, but they did get a little more specific. They said it sold $500 million worth, double what Infinite Warfare's sold, which was the game previous, the year previous to this, Infinite Warfare, which versus Call of Duty Black Ops 3 was $550 million. So it's short of that. But I don't. Call of Duty is back.
Well, I heard Call of Duty World War II has been going through a couple of lawsuits. One mainly that I heard of was the fact that they may have copied the Medal of Honor storyline, or one of those Medal of Honor storylines.
If you play it, man, it's typical. I don't know what they're suing. It's like you're suing for the Cinderella story or whatever. It's like, yeah, Disney made it popular or brought it in, but it's a story that goes back in time. So, and this story goes back to World War II.
It's a World War II story. So, it's like there's only so many World War II stories you can tell.
Yeah, so Call of Duty, they're doing all right. It seems to have come back. And one of the quotes, I don't have it, but they did mention how it's the director, one of the persons on the financial call, he said that it actually, just to put it into perspective, how much money Call of Duty World War II made. It's like it made combined totals of Thor and Captain America, Thor and Wonder Woman combined. So it made more than those two combined.
Over 500 million.
And then plus the loot crates, plus the everything, you're gonna really make some money. When did on this, Dalen, the Best Buy Black Friday list leaked? Anything you'd be interested?
It was a leak? I thought they just put it out there for people to know.
Maybe they did. I don't know.
Weeks away.
We're on the internet, man. Who knows?
The internet.
We got Xbox One controllers, PlayStation controllers $40, Mass Effect Andromeda $15, Horizon Night $20, Uncharted The Lost Legacy $20, Resident Evil 7 $20, Wolfenstein 2 the new wait a minute, hold on.
Hey, don't get confused.
Wolfenstein 2 the new Colossus $25.
Yeah, there were a couple of games on that list. I saw that. And I was thinking, man, I might have to show up that day and buy a couple of games. I have the console, but
the Evil Within 2 $25, Crash Bandicoot Trilogy $25, Nier Automata $25, Destiny 2 $30, Madden NFL 18 $30,
Are you gonna go through the whole list?
20.
Hey,
it's only a couple more, man. Relax. NBA 2K 18 $30, Assassin's Creed Origins $35, South Park Fractured But Whole $35, Call of Duty World War II $40. So. That's
I like
something.
the fact that you enunciated the.
That's fine. But it's South Park. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm glad you enunciated it properly. No good. Don't confuse people.
But I mean, if this is one of those things where it's Thanksgiving comes around, you get into that food coma for a little bit. I'll see when I wake up.
I'm gonna have a gaming coma.
Sure. Is that part of it? I do.
I'm gonna have a gaming
food coma. You get it. You wake up on Friday. I'm like. I'll go see what they have at Best Buy. I don't know about... do you stand in line? Do you actually go like...
It's been a couple of years since I've done that, but when I did, it was stupid ridiculous how long the line was at 3:30 a.m. in the morning. Not trying to do that.
Eat your food, enjoy your Thanksgiving, show up on Friday, see what they got left, and you'll be good.
Happy Thanksgiving on that part.
So we'll see you guys for the next episode on Salient Points. I hope you enjoyed the show.
Have a safe Veterans Day.
This is Carlos...
Veterans Day is this Saturday.
Oh, it's a Saturday.
Yeah, it's coming
Saturday. I thought they don't have a specific. It's not like a Monday or something. It's on a Saturday.
No, it's not a specific
day.
It's like a day of the month. Anyways,
thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
And have a safe Veterans Day. Again, this is Carlos Macias. You can find me at the Deuce Clean on Twitter.
You don't know where you're at.
Dalen, where can we find you, Dalen?
Yeah, you can find Dalen Kirkwood under Twitter. It's _Zacia _. I'm going to spell that for you.
Under Twitter, huh?
Not,
Double
on Twitter,
right,
on either way it goes. You know where Twitter is. Right. But spelling Zacia XEXIA. So
_XEXIA_.
That's right.
When are you gonna start tweeting? When are you gonna start tweeting?
I'm gonna work on that. Probably focus on it this weekend. Don't worry about me.
All right.
I got my life in order.
You guys next time. It doesn't seem like you have that in order.
I'm gonna be somebody tonight. I'm gonna be somebody tonight.